Smithsonian or some kind of something like that. And they're trying to prove that because he said in this meeting that Comey was a nut job and that removing him would, basically take some pressure off, that what he really meant was that, he was trying to influence the investigation, which, by the way, turns out to be illegal. I don't even think it's illegal to do that if he did it, because it wasn't actually part of the legal system yet. It was still an investigation for him. And so imagine trying to convict President Trump based on something he said in a meeting once, and then his defense says, let me show you PolitiFact website where I'll show you 7 pages of, just one item, a few items per line of things that the fact checkers have said President Trump said and didn't mean, or were just not true. Now, imagine that. Now, who would convict President Trump for something he said that got leaked in the context that every one of his enemies and even all of his friends would acknowledge that there are 7 pages of PolitiFact of things he said that just weren't true, but he said it for effect. Now, the effect in this case was he got elected president. And some of those things, of course, were not brilliant things he said, but the cumulative effect was that he got elected president. Now imagine that the context he's talking to the Russians, who he's trying to persuade. And he may have said something that just isn't true, because he has this long history of saying what works best in persuasion, even if the fact-checking doesn't exactly, conform to what he said. So imagine anybody trying to get any kind of a legal decision in the context where the person is being accused of saying something true, and then you have to prove it was the one time he actually meant it. How the hell do you win that case? Yeah, and by the way, do you want to know a secret of persuasion? It's in my book. Here's a good one. This is one you've never heard before, and this would also give you some context for the leaked quote about nut job and takes the pressure off me, right? There's a rule of persuasion that when you tell somebody a secret, they become your friend automatically. In other words, and by the way, if you've never heard this before, this is pretty important. This is like a really good one. This is one you can use in your actual life. When you share a minor secret with someone, something that can't get you killed, but it's just edgy enough that it does sound like a legitimate secret that you wouldn't want to get out. It would just be a little bit embarrassing. It wouldn't kill you, but it'd be a little bit embarrassing. When you share that kind of a secret, people bond to you, and they feel like you're on their side and they're friends. It's an irrational automatic connection which has been studied, right? It's a well-known phenomenon in persuasion. Now, if you look at what Trump is alleged to have said by the leak, he was essentially revealing a secret to the Russians. He was saying Comey is a nut job, which is the first secret, which is his opinion of Comey. He's never really said that per se. So that was like a secret that was a little bit naughty, which is just right. You want something that if it got out wouldn't kill you, just a little bit, enough of a secret quality to it. So you call your own head of the FBI that you just recently fired a nut job, that qualifies. That's like a little secret for the Russians. Then here's another secret. He says, I did it to take the pressure off. Now what he's doing is sounding like a strong man, like a decisive leader who frickin' fired his own head of the FBI just because he's a nut job and took the pressure off, whatever that means. In the context of talking to the Russians, he's pacing them. He's talking the way they would talk. All right, they have more of a strong leader. Fire these people who are problems. Get rid of the people who are problems. And Trump said, the democracy version of that. He paced them. Yeah, I'm a strong leader. I just got rid of my head of FBI nut job. So now he's Now he's giving you sort of a second secret that he got rid of him for, to take some pressure off. Now, who knows what that meant? But here's the thing. It didn't really matter what it meant in terms of persuasion, because the persuasion of it is going to work if the Russians perceive that he told them a secret, a small one, the kind that if it leaked, it wouldn't really hurt him. And sure enough, it's leaking right now. And, CNN and his enemies wanted desperately to hurt him, but all it really did was, a month from now, all you'll remember is nut job, right? So it probably isn't going to be legally important because it's so vague. And in the context of negotiations, it actually is a well-known persuasion, thing to do, to reveal small secrets. And by the way, I've done this, and it really works. All right. So if you see the best persuader in the world revealing small secrets to people he most wants to persuade, and then that leaks, let me tell you what leaked. What leaked is you saw the best persuader of our lifetime doing what he does. Do you think those Russians left that meeting liking him less? Fuck no. Fuck no. What matters more to defeating ISIS, putting pressure on North Korea, being safe in the world? Making those Russians kind of have a good feeling about Trump. Did he do that? He fucking did that. Right. Nobody's questioning that. Ask anybody who has a little bit of persuasion skill, a cognitive scientist. Ask Robert Cialdini. Right? Ask Robert Cialdini, the Godzilla of persuasion, as I call him, whether revealing those small secrets in the meeting with the Russian put us ahead as a country. And the answer is yes, because that's really good technique. Now, when you see it in a context and you don't know that is, if you don't know that that's technique, it looks like he's revealing secrets. Hold on a second. I'll be right back. All right. Now, how many of you listening to this knew that what he did, revealing these small little secrets, is technique, and it's well-documented technique? I mean, it's not something I just made up. How many of you knew that? All right, so somebody said yes. All right, so there are enough people saying yes to validate I just didn't make up a bunch of bullshit, right? It's actually true. Would it be considered reciprocity? You could make an argument that it's part of that reciprocity principle that does make people like you. Yeah, I think you could make that argument. But I think it's more than that. I think it's reciprocity plus. All right. Yeah, and actually the secret of revealing the secret, but a small one, not one that will get you crushed if it gets revealed, because people tell your secrets all the time. You don't trust some new stranger just because you want them to be your friend. Try this in your personal relations if you have someone you would like to make more your friend. And you're going to see it works like frickin' magic, and it works quickly. It really does. It's one of the most powerful forms of persuasion. And now just think about it. Now, there's 1,000 people watching this, so most of you just heard my explanation. Now that you've heard me reframe this, that one of the smartest things that a master persuader could do is to reveal some small secrets, insult his FBI guy, show that he's a strong leader, pace them, give them a small secret because that bonds them to him, makes them like him better. That's good technique. Now let's talk about the leakers. Now the leakers are one of two things. They're either simply enemies of the state, because what they're doing is illegal, I think. So if they're enemies of the state, they're traitors. Or they legitimately think they're doing something patriotic because they think that Trump is dangerous and a bad leader. Because you can't rule that out. They might be legitimately thinking they're saving the world. In that case, they're simply, I hate to use the word ignorant, but they're underinformed about how persuasion works. Because if you put me in that meeting and I heard him say those same things, I would walk away with my jaw dropped and say, fuck, that was good. You know, pitch perfect persuasion. I'll bet if you were in that room, you would have seen something frickin' amazing. All right. And then what do the leakers turn that into? He is a frickin' idiot who can't keep a secret. That's what they turned that into. Or they just don't understand it. It's possible. Now, I know that I'm already accused of bending myself into pretzels to defend the president, right? But I try to only do it when I can give my reasons in a way that you can verify. So I've given you, really essentially three rules of persuasion that are easy to verify, well documented, tested by science, etc. That President Trump, we know, used in these meetings because the leaks told us, right? If we weren't there, we wouldn't have known. But we saw him use three of the most powerful forms of persuasion in a meeting where we needed him to be the master persuader, right? You could check it for yourself. I realize people are going to say, hey, you're really, bending over backwards to make this sound like a good thing. And clearly he's just a loose cannon who says whatever the hell he wants. Could be. Let me say as clearly as possible, I wasn't in the room, so maybe he said a whole bunch of other things that we don't know about. They were just so crazy that if I heard it all in context, I'd say, oh my God, he's just a loose cannon. Maybe. How could I rule that out? I wasn't in the room. But given what we do know, based on the leaks, we've seen him use the revealing a small secret trick, hugely powerful persuasion. We've seen him pacing, acting like a strong man in front of these other strong men leaders who would no doubt like that. He did put the nickname nut job on him, and some of you are going to think he did that because he knew it would get leaked. I can't take it that far, but I also don't rule it out, right? But I doubt it. I think that was just in the moment he was saying that. And then as somebody pointed out here, there was also the reciprocity, because when you share something, that also has a reciprocity element to it. In other words, it would irrationally and automatically predispose the Russians to sharing something that maybe was a little more than they were going to share. That's how persuasion works. Now, I know you're going to say, no, those Russians are smart professionals. They're just going to take what they can get and give us nothing. That's definitely what they intend to do. So I'm not saying that on some rational way they're going to say, oh, he told me a secret, I guess I can tell him a secret. They're definitely not doing that. All right? Because they're definitely, on the conscious level, they're saying, hey, he told me a secret. I'm not going to freaking give him anything. I win. Yay. Consciously, that's what they're thinking. Subconsciously, he's already primed them with the reflex of reciprocity. So they would talk themselves into thinking that what they tell him later was for a reason. So now he's primed them for reciprocity, and now when they reciprocate, since they don't want to feel like they reciprocated, because it would feel like, we got manipulated, we got persuaded, they will come up with some cognitive dissonance reason where they'll say, we have to tell you this for security of some kind. That's how the world looks in my 3D filter. Oh, I'm not driving right now. I'm in the parking lot of my club. My gym, I guess I should call it. Alright, I gotta go. This is like best day ever. This whole nut job thing could not have entertained me more. And if you missed my joke that I tweeted already, I will say it again because I'm so proud of it. And the joke is this. This is what I tweeted. I hope Comey let's see. I hope Comey doesn't make any more trouble for President Trump, or he will fire him from his nut job too. All right, I'm going to leave you on that, and have a great day. The news is always interesting. Bye.